What's up, everybody? It's Chibi, and today I'm here to bring you an anime review on Seraph of the End Vampire Reign. So, this episode, I have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes towards that ending of the episode. But before I get into that, I kind of want to talk about the beginning portions of the episode first, before I get into some really specific details of the ending conclusion of the episode. So, for the first half of the episode, it is kind of a slow, gradual build-up. That's kind of what the first half was. I mean, you had to where you and everybody regrouped, they made their party again, and we come to find out the strength of the other half of the party that could hold their own against a freaking vampire army by themselves. And they did a pretty damn good job by themselves holding off against vampires without you and everybody else there. They just held off without their full group. And so they did a good job. They did a really good job holding the front lines back and defending humanity, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, the first half, I guess you could say, was a gradual, slow build-up to the second explosive half of the episode. Now, the first half, though, I really like the music choices. Oh my god. Like, one thing I have to point out when it comes to Seraph of the End, I've said it a couple times beforehand, but man, that music is so fucking kick-ass, dude. I love that music of Seraph of the End. It's so good. Like, I don't think there's one soundtrack I have heard yet in the series that I dislike. I think I've liked every damn soundtrack I have heard on Seraph of the End. And I think they're using different types of soundtracks. They're not just using the same soundtrack over and over, just one specific soundtrack. They are using different ones, and it really adds this different vibe about it, where you can find out that the soundtrack of this series is really damn good. And I mean, usually if there's like a series that has a good soundtrack, usually there's like only one song that constantly gets repeated, and it's a badass song, but it gets repeated throughout the entire series. But Seraph of the End is, you know, using so many different songs with different scenes, and it just sounds so kick-ass. Now, I do need to mention something. I noticed it last week, and I didn't really talk about it much, but it was also apparent in this episode, so I guess I will talk about it now, since it's been in past 2 episodes. I noticed that the backgrounds of Seraph of the End have been rather lacking, or very different compared to the character models. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one seeing that, but when it comes to the character models, like, you know, the characters, the designs of the characters, when you see them in the scenery, like, you know, you see them, and when you see the scenery behind them, the character models do not sync well with the backgrounds. It really doesn't. I didn't notice it before, about 3 or 4 episodes ago, but since last episode and this episode, I've been noticing it, and for some reason, the characters are just not really looking proper aligned with the backgrounds. Like, it just doesn't look right. But that's just a little nitpick. It's nothing too bad, but I just noticed that the characters are not really fitting well with the backgrounds. It might just be me, but if you all noticed it too, please let me know in the comments below. I'll gladly, you know, like to talk about it. So, moving into the second point of the episode, Gurren. Gurren gets stabbed by Mika. Okay, so before I get even into Mika, let's just talk about Gurren. So Gurren, he got stabbed. And since his introduction, I've always thought Gurren was one of the strongest humans. And I still think he is one of the strongest humans. But the way he was done in this episode, I'm kind of upset, because I had these impressions that Gurren was one of the strongest. And the way he got destroyed like that by Mika, of all things. I mean, you gotta factor in, you know, Mika did drink the blood of the princess, you know, the queen, vampire queen princess. So, I mean, of course, he'd be kind of strong, but still, I mean, Gurren got fucking wrecked. Like, damn it, dude. Like, if that would have been a one-on-one, he would have been destroyed. Like, end of story right there. So, damn it. That really sucks. I'm really upset about that, because I thought Gurren was going to, you know, hold his own, but I guess not. Damn. Now, one thing I want to talk about, okay, Mika. Mika as a character. As we know, Mika, he was a human once before, and on the first episode, he supposedly died, but, you know, thanks to the opening song, it spoiled us, and he is alive. But, moving past that, we know Mika was once human, and we do know he once had a family he cared about with you. He cared for you, he cared about his family, and he also shared the exact similar perspectives as you, to where he was tired of humans being treated like livestock. He didn't like that, and you didn't like that, and you saw how they were trying to fight against this until the very end, until the entire family got killed, and supposedly Mika got killed, but he survived. So, in the act of that, we knew how Mika fought as a person. And when we saw him have his backstory kind of flashed out in last week's episode with finding out that he drinks the vampire princess's blood, we thought he still cared for humans. Like, we thought he still cared for humans, and he cared for them because, I mean, you gotta factor this in, okay? He didn't want to drink human blood because, obviously, he didn't want to treat humans like livestock. Understandable. But he continued to drink the princess's blood, okay. So that was interesting. I thought he was still on the good side, but from what we come to find out in this episode, he goes out of his way to try to kill Gurren, and he tries to. He stabs him in the fucking heart. So I'm assuming Gurren might die in this episode, or next episode. Like, he might fucking die. So it's just like, it's still not the point. Mika tried to give the death blow. That's kind of what it was. If Gurren survives, good thing. But still, Mika tried to give the death blow. And that's a human. Mika was once a human. And understandable, I see the different reactions of how Mika reacted to you. Like, he was really shocked to see you, and he stopped. Like, he was just completely shocked. So I'm guessing he only cares slightly for you. But this doesn't change the matter at all. If he only cares about you, he should care about the people around you. Because if people get affected around you, that means he's indirectly hurting you. Let's give some proper examples, okay? Let's argue and say Mika doesn't know the relationship between Gurren and you. He doesn't know that, which is understandable. You should know that. So, we can throw it out the window. He doesn't know Gurren is related to you at all, and they know each other. Thing is, when Mika willingly attacked Gurren, he knew Gurren was a leader of humanity. And what happens in wars, for instance this type of war, when a leader that's of major importance gets defeated? Like a huge commander gets defeated on the battlefield. Of course, the vampires or the opposing army is going to gain the upper hand. They're going to gain the upper hand, they're going to get more forces, they're going to enslave more people, build their army, and then continue pressing on. And as we know, Mika at one point or time, when he was human, he didn't want to treat humans as livestock. And you kind of saw an example of this while he was a vampire already drinking the princess's blood. So the point stands to where, even if Mika didn't realize that Gurren and you was related, he hurt Gurren that indirectly hurts you, because Gurren is a commander of humanity. If a commander falls, that means more of humanity gets wounded. And that would mean that if more humanity gets killed or enslaved, you is going to be affected. Because as we know, he does not like humans being treated like livestock. And Mika should realize this. If more humans get enslaved, Mika should know that you will not like that at all. So, it's really confusing how that is going, but we'll have to see. Just that's my thought on that. Anyways, you all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.